Hi Worldwide Fleet DJs, my name is Olivia Summer Hutcherson, and today I am here to talk to you about my journey through breast cancer, surviving it and thriving through it. The key word there is through. I was diagnosed when I was 26 years old on my birthday. I thought it was the highlight of my life. I was young, I was having fun, and I was dancing for Madonna in New York City. It was my birthday and I was wearing all white. I remember that night like it was yesterday. I looked down in the midst of dancing with 20 other top dancers in New York City, and there was blood on the inside of my blouse. I was bleeding from my nipple. I thought I must have cut myself with my fingernails, but it turned out that it was something else. I went to the doctor the very next day, and they told me that it was nothing to worry about, that I was overdoing it, that I needed to go home and rest. But I knew that it was something more. I was waking up with night sweats, I was extremely fatigued, and I returned just 3 days later. I was given a biopsy and diagnosed with stage 0 breast cancer. I still felt like something was wrong, so I went back and forced the issue for a mammogram. At 26 years old, I was told that I couldn't get a mammogram because of my insurance, because of my age, because of the fact that I was a non-smoker, but I just knew that something was going on, and I trusted that gut instinct. Moving forward, I was finally given a mammogram, but I had to have it 3 times because of the density of my breast tissue. Finally, the radiologist came out, looked me dead in my eyes, and asked me the question that no one wants to hear. Do you have someone here with you? My face crumbled, and I called my mom. As my mom made her way into that freezing cold room, I looked around at every other woman in there with their little blue gowns on. And as my mom clasped my hand, she said, "Are you okay?" And I looked at her and I whispered, "No." I remember shaking with fear inside of me. And I just remember recognizing that everything had changed in a second. I faced 5 doctors all at once. I couldn't hear the words. Everything was fading out. Words were just disappearing from my ears. I was told one behind the other, behind the other, behind the other, that I was going to have a stack of things happening to me. I was going to need a double mastectomy. I was going to be going into surgery. Surgery was going to be turning into chemo. Chemo was going to be turning into me having my eggs frozen. My entire life was changing right in front of my eyes. I had a new identity. When your outer world changes, your inner person has to become stronger. I no longer identified with this shell of a body that I was looking at. I can remember walking past the mirror and not recognizing the girl or woman I had become. I recognized quickly that if I was going to make it, if I was really gonna survive this thing, that I was going to have to build up my spirit as much as my body. I quickly crumbled on my knees and prayed to God that He would get me through this. I remember a pastor praying Psalm 23 over me, saying, "As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil." I didn't know what that meant back then, but I do now. Fast forward 4 years later, I had accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I was baptized. I had learned to pray in the Spirit and done so many things to try to get myself in a place where I was built up. I was climbing high. My hair had regrown. My body was coming back. My strength was coming back. Everything was coming back. I was working again. I even wrote a poetry book called The Show Must Go On. And boom, in 2019, just 3 days after releasing it, I was hit again, but this time even harder, with metastatic breast cancer. It spread to my bones. I had an 11-centimeter tumor in my spine. I had a 7-centimeter tumor under my armpit, in the same place I had been rocked back in 2015, and I also had a tumor in my pelvis. This time, I didn't know why I was being attacked. What I did know is that my faith was stronger than my fear. What I did know is that in the end, we win. And what I did know is that I had the tools to make it out. I'm not a superhero, but I am the proof. I am forgiven, I am faithful, and I am free. If you speak to your mountains, miracles can happen for you too. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm rooting for you, I'm sending you love, and I'm so excited to share my poetry, my dancing, and my heart. This is Floor 14 from the show Must Go On. Shout out to the rock stars, the brave souls, and the rebels. To the women rocking bald heads, y'all deserve a medal. As I sat on floor 14 today, watching every patient, the tears kept rolling down my face, not sure if I could take it. To the women who are smiling and holding it together, you are my new heroes. Couldn't think of someone better. Behind those silky scarves and behind the wigs you buy, I see a room of suited soldiers as I look into your eyes. Shout out to the rock stars, the brave souls, and the rebels. May the loved ones that we know never have to face that level. For the road is long and hard, and the path is just our own. Thank you to my God for never leaving me alone.
What fortune lies beyond the stars? Those dazzling heights too fast to climb. I got so high to fall so far, but I found heaven as love swept low. My heart beating, my soul breathing. I found my life when I laid it down. My wood falling, spirit soaring. I touched the sky when my knees hit the ground. What treasure waits within your skies? The gift of freedom gold can't buy. I bought the world and sold my heart. We traded heaven to have me again. My heart beating, my soul breathing. I found my life when I laid it down. Upward falling, spirit soaring. I touched the sky when my knees hit the ground. Find me here at your feet again. Everything I am, reaching out, I surrender. Come sweep me up in your love again, and my soul will dance on the wings of forever. Find me here at your feet again. Everything I am, reaching out, I surrender. Sweep me up in your love again, and my soul will dance on the wings of forever. My heart beating, my soul breathing. I found my life when I laid it down. Upward falling, spirit soaring. I touched the sky when my knees hit the ground. My heart beating, my soul knees hit the ground.